What's going on, guys? In the works. And it feels pretty good to be saying that again on a more consistent basis. But if you're confused by this video, you should probably go check out my update video. It'll answer any questions you probably had. But today we're playing a little bit of Battlefield 4. We're going to be talking about Battlefield 4 as a game, where it's come from since being released in 2013, and how it kind of fares right now. We're doing some rush defense. It's pretty exciting for a rush defense gameplay, a little action here and there, so I thought it'd be good as the backdrop to sort of talk about this, because Rush is my favorite game mode. Coming from Battlefield 3, going into Battlefield 4, I felt like Rush was just not as good. That had a lot to do with map design, a lot to do with just like some of the weapons and whatnot. So what has happened to this game to make it better than where it was in, let's say, 2014? Well, everybody knows that DICE LA was sort of tasked with fixing the updates, getting some of the updates out, getting the game in a more stable state, because the launch was less than stellar for Battlefield 4. It was one of the more buggier launches. It's actually quite famous for the huge backlash EA got. They actually even had to make a statement on it about the development and rush launch of Battlefield 4. So that's all history. Let's talk about where the game is now, because it's arguably it's so stable now compared to where it was, which is actually kind of crazy if you think about it. I've never seen a company support a game as much as they have post-launch that DICE and DICE LA did, because you look at like standard Battlefield 3, you got the DLCs. Very rarely did you get things like the community ops, the night maps, all the cool stuff that honestly kind of redeemed themselves for a crappy launch. Now, I think it has a lot to do with the CTE. I was very, very critical of the CTE when it came out, is because it should have been something that existed from the beginning. If they were having problems keeping up with development and they needed, a sort of like a test realm, they should have had that from the get-go. There shouldn't have been a, hey, let's launch this game. This game's now out. It's buggy. Now we'll start testing it. That's not fair to the consumers. So that's one of the reasons why I was so just critical of Battlefield 4 CTE, because it was sort of like a little too late. But like I was saying, the game is arguably in its most balanced state ever. It's very stable. We saw a very large weapon patch come out. Sometime in 2014, we saw a movement update where the soldier movement got a lot better. There's still a lot that they could do to fix that, but I think if you compared Battlefield 4 when it launched with Battlefield 4 right now, you would see a huge difference in the way characters move. I mean, it's a big deal. I noticed it right out of the gate, having not played the game for a handful of months. I think up until here recently this spring, I hadn't played Battlefield 4 since like October. So coming back was a huge, fresh sort of like take on the way the game was playing. Now, it's funny because I mentioned that you don't see a lot of companies do updates. You would assume since Battlefield Hardline came out that the game would essentially fall off. Battlefield 4 wouldn't be popular. But if you actually take a look at the people playing Hardline compared to the people that play in Battlefield 4 and the people playing Battlefield 3, it will blow your mind. There are hundreds of servers going for Battlefield 4, maybe only a handful for Hardline. You can see like there's not many on there in North America, and the ones that aren't really that populated. I think that says a lot to how well they fixed Battlefield 4 that people would actually go back to it. Even Battlefield 3 has more people on it than Hardline, so that kind of actually blows my mind that Hardline is just about a year old and it has way fewer people than both Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, games that should have already been sort of, I guess, swept aside for the new cool thing, which was supposed to be Hardline. So it's pretty clear to me that the updates and just the support that Battlefield 4 got post-launch sort of kind of screwed Hardline. I mean, it's funny, Hardline wasn't really that good of a game. I plan on making a separate Hardline video to sort of touch on that down the road, but it wasn't a horrible game. I mean, it was very much a, quote, Battlefield game, and you could tell just from like the way it played and just the way the game felt, it was the Frostbite engine. But the post-launch support that Battlefield 4 got, the community ops, the night maps, all the fun stuff, all the updates, I think players appreciated that, and they just saw no reason to leave Battlefield 4. So if you're actually hesitant to come back, I would actually challenge you to come back and give this game a chance. Don't come back and rage. I mean, it's not worth coming in and getting frustrated about, but I think there's a lot of options here, especially on PC for high tick rate servers. You can actually have fun and rush. I think some of the things that I enjoy about the updates are the movements. The soldier movement just feels much more fluid. I really do wish that they would kind of come in and look at some of the vaulting issues where you're trying to vault over objects. That's still really, really glitchy. It's always been like that though. So, you know, looking at this game from 2013 to 2016, it's almost unrecognizable. The updates they've done to it have transformed it into a playable game. Is it 2 years too late? You could argue that. I mean, by the time Battlefield 1 comes out, it'll be a 3-year-old game because it came out in fall of 2013. So maybe it's too little too late. Maybe you guys are like, nope, they don't get another chance. But like I said, I would challenge you to sort of hop in, play it. It's worth it to yourself to just sort of give it a chance. It's by no means a perfect game. It still has its flaws, but I think you would be shocked to see where it's come from as a game. Another thing that I've noticed that they've been doing is there's been a lot of community events. You know, you see the Friday Night Battlefield stuff, which I think is actually cool. It's a cool way to sort of get the community involved, reward the players that are still around, and it shows that the developers that are still sort of supporting Battlefield 4 right now still realize the game is very widely played, which is nice because good luck getting a Call of Duty developer to do something like that, which, you know, Call of Duty kind of sucks. But yeah, I mean, that's sort of it for this video. We're kind of wrapping up this Rush defense here. I actually had a lot of fun in this game. I love Rush. It was nice to actually get to experience a very solid defense. I think I get a clutch defuse here coming up, but I love the engineer class. So much fun. It's probably the best thing about Battlefield games is the engineer class. And there's an example right there. You see, I was having problems vaulting over that. So there's still a lot that they can do to fix some of the movement. Hopefully in Battlefield 1, that's something they do improve on. But if you guys have had a chance to check out Battlefield 4, let me know if you think that it's better. I'm actually curious what you guys think as a community. Do you think the game has gotten better? Have you even tried it since the big patch at the end of 2014 and then the patches throughout 2015? If so, what's the best thing? Am I missing something? So let me know in the comments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.